Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Deadfire with me, Break It Dawn. Let's continue exploring the Radiant Court, starting with Cole Marcellus. The first thing you notice about this man is the nature of his attire. Loud and clashing reds and purples, bright as a peacock. On second glance, you see that he's tall and lanky, boyishly handsome in an unkempt way, with a trim beard and a friendly smile. He hums a little tune to himself as he watches the passers-by.
My good sir, hello.
He gives you a frightfully cheery wave and beckons you closer.
Whatever might I do for you?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm certain there's no need to tell you, observant as you no doubt are, that I am an actor.
He says the last bit with a flourish and takes an extravagant bow.
Stage, tavern, street corner. They are as much my home as where I lay my head at night. So, I travel Aora, looking for opportunities to share my gifts with the grateful masses, wherever that may lead me.
You make a lot of money doing that.
Oh, goodness, yes, loads of it. I've been known to joke that I'm less a man than I am a walking bank for all the coin that I carry. The common folk do so love an actor. We bring mystery and excitement to their otherwise dreary lives. Yes, you could say we're doing the gods' work.
As he speaks, you notice that the toes of his soft boots are worn thin. A closer inspection reveals that his robes are unraveling at the hems, and are well patched at the elbows too. You are broke, aren't you?
How dare you? But you're not wrong, to my great chagrin. Times have been tough of late, what with the giant statues smashing up the place, and few in the Deadfire have coin to spare besides. It's quite difficult, you know, living as I do. On occasion, foolish folk will take my act for reality. I've thrice been run out of a town for impersonating a foreign dignitary. Damn fools don't understand the blistering wit of my satire, I tell you. I had to learn to protect myself as a result, though I must admit, what martial skills I've got aren't of use for much more than fighting off wolves, or throttling a thief with designs on my satchel. Thank the gods, I hardly ever need to use them. I could talk myself out of nearly anything, you know.
You sure can talk. I'll give you that.
Well, thank you. I must say it's gratifying to be recognized for one's talents. All things being equal, I'd much rather recite a sonnet than swing an axe, but a man's got to make his way in the world any way he can.
Can you teach me what you've learned in your travels as a performer?
I would be honored. But a man needs to make a living, you know. So, for my services, how about 3,000 copper?
Give 3,000 copper, enhance bluff and streetwise. Here you are.
Fantastic! Let's get to it then.
His training is idiosyncratic. He starts by describing a character he'd like you to play. A street tough, an embittered sailor, a noble in the throes of a tantrum. Then he recites lines to you, asking that you recite them back in the attitude of your character. He then shows you how to use those characters to trick people into giving you what you want. When you show him you've got it, he gives you a wide smile and bids you farewell. Awesome. Next up, Ramasso. The shelf contains current navigational charts and bestiaries about the various sea monsters a captain could encounter. If the labels on the bottles are to be believed, it says are to believed. Notice a lot of words are missing in dunnage in general. These concoctions cure everything from scurvy to death itself.
Welcome to my emporium. Whatever you need, I sell.
He gestures at all the stalls around him.
What would you like to buy today?
You own all these stalls.
I do now. I started out with only one stall and eventually branched out, buying out my competitors one by one.
Show me what you have for sale. A handful of uniques. I'm going to buy the ingredients he only has one of, assuming that they're fairly rare. Alright, first up, Pale Hide. Legendary. So you already save money by buying it, because the upgrade to Legendary costs 30,000 gold, and this only costs 25,000. A Winter Coat, +3 Shock Armor rating, and +3 Freeze Armor rating. And Clad in Mist. 15% of incoming hits converted to grazes. Many creatures have unwittingly contributed their pelts and bones to this armor. Each component has faded as though treated with lime, eventually becoming the same bone-white color. The cause of this transformation is unknown. Whatever bestial enchantment lies upon the pale hide also affects the demeanor of the wearer. While clad in this grisly totem, one's mind begins to drift towards grand hunts under the moonlit sky, the glorious struggle of tooth and claw, and the undeniable ecstasy of the kill. Cornered Beast, +8 deflection while flanked. Ghost in White upgrades Clad in Mist to 20% of incoming hits converted to grazes. Dread Howl. The caster calls upon the bestial soul fragments from within the pale hide to produce a wicked howl, provoking fear in nearby enemies. And Nocturnal Vigor. Reduces recovery time during nighttime. A pretty solid piece of armor. Eager Blade. Superb. Vehemence. Scoring a critical hit grants +2 accuracy and 5% action speed, stacks 4 times. And Bounding Strikes. Scoring a hit on a near-death target also damages nearby enemies. This Estoc was once the personal weapon of the legendary Deerwooden Knight, Lady Call. As the field marshal of a border barony, she was responsible for defending the vassals of the land from the roving bands of independent hill people who frequently crossed into the Deerwood to pillage. She was a tireless warrior and a canny commander. She waged a decade-long campaign against all manner of brigands and marauders. When she was killed during a retaliatory attack on an enemy stronghold, her officer cadre recovered her weapon and sent it to the Duke of the Deerwood, with a letter informing him of the passing of his tireless servant. A fragment of Lady Call's soul purportedly remains within the Estoc's pommel, eager to lend aid in battle once again. The blade almost seems to hum with barely constrained longing to join in righteous combat. Battle Unending. 50% chance, 30 health restored on self on scoring critical hit. Sorry, to self. And 50% chance, 20 health restored to enemy on critical hit. And Raptured Blade. 10% chance to recover instantly on scoring hit. Yeah, that is far better than this one. Because first, it only requires you hit. It doesn't have to be a critical hit. And secondly, there's not a chance you healed the enemy. Call's Retort. 15% chance to launch Day's attack at target when missed in melee. And Call's Stance. Lady Call sings through the blade, randomly grants bonus armor rating, melee damage, or deflection at the start of combat. That's pretty good. And Amra. Oh, it's a two-handed battle axe. Exceptional, and Amra. Requires 2 hands to wield, but deals increased damage. Temper. 25% chance on scoring a kill with this weapon to frenzy the wielder. And Gore. The wielder's might is 25 or above. It's a pretty steep might requirement. Critical hits with this weapon cause 25% of base weapon damage in an area around the wielder. This double-bladed axe has gone by many names over the years, notably Burden, Ponderous Edge, and the Unbalanced Blade. Most would consider a weapon too heavy to wield a liability, yet its value is beyond question. The pirates who named it Amra rallied around the weapon as a kind of standard or totem, likely because of the unusual way they came to possess it. After sailing through a maelstrom to evade pursuers, Amra was found lodged in the deck of their ship. They left it there as a good luck charm for years, but whatever fortune they gained from its presence evidently didn't last. So Riven Gore replaces Gore. If the wielder's might is 25 or above, critical hits with this weapon cause 25% of base weapon damage in an area around the wielder. Enemies under 50 health are killed instantly. That's pretty good. And Wanton Gore. Or sorry, it's actually Wanton. If the wielder's might is 25 or above, critical hits with this weapon cause 33% of base weapon damage in an area around the wielder. Tempered Fury. 25% chance on scoring a kill with this weapon to frenzy the wielder without a deflection penalty. An Unstable Temper. 1% chance on receiving damage to frenzy the wielder. Some really solid gear here. Unfortunately, no one in my party uses an S-Stock, and I don't plan on changing that. Well, I take that back. That's too late, unless I wanted to respec Idwin. And the Pale Hide might be worth picking up for someone like Constantine.
Sure.
Or really anyone that wears light armor. It's a really good set of armor. Alright, welcome to the Treasure Trove. Despite appearances, the sacks of luminous Audra contain only brightly colored sand.
Will do.
This gilded armor is ceremonial in nature and of no use in a real battle.
Ahoy! A light's foot and an heavy bullet. Aye, Captain.
Subtle indeed. The work of a moment, yes? It is done.
Iridescent Scale. Superb. Elemental Disruption. +10 all defenses against electricity, fire, frost, water, and acid attacks. And Coalescing Forces. Grants Conjure Greater Blight. The Master Alchemist Donato Vanzetti created the suit of gleaming scale armor not as a tool for battle, but as an expression of his craft. Untrained in the arcane art of enchantment, Vanzetti sought to create a perfect elemental defense using only alchemical techniques. He labored over every scale, every stitch, and every rivet, distilling protective elemental essence into every component. The project consumed his every waking hour for nearly a year. The results, while more than satisfactory, never seemed to please the alchemist. His masterpiece was functional but far from perfect. He grew discouraged and eventually discarded the armor, declaring it to be the culmination of his failure at his craft. Corrode Refraction. Minus 10% corrode damage taken. So it's been the same thing each time. So you can either choose between corrode and shock damage reduction or burn and freeze damage reduction.
How may I help? Of course. Keeping an eye out. Oh?
A light's foot and an heavy bullet, aye,
Indeed.
Cap.
I've got it.
Oil paintings, perfect for a captain. I don't think it needs A there. Perfect for captains with drab cabins.
Hey. Let's take a look. Hey.
Oh.
Right. Steady does it.
Makes stealing a lot easier.
Yeah?
Nice and quiet.
Hello, Demessa.
Welcome to the treasure trove, sailor.
A strapping godlike blinks between the swollen, crusty tumors lining her eyes. Her lips crack, weeping a sappy substance as she speaks. Don't know if I'd describe her as strapping.
anything in my trove catches your eye, you let me know. All right.
Show me what you have for sale. I'll stock up on these ingredients because some of these are fairly rare. I need to go back around the other merchants as well. Make sure I pick up anything like this. Alright, Sun and Moon. Flail. Legendary. So once again, you save money by buying this. And we also have a 15% discount. Twin Gods. Hits twice, but with reduced damage. Sun adds 25% burn damage, and Moon adds 25% freeze damage. Celestial Attunement. Day and night. During the day, wielder receives increased power level for fire attacks. +2. Be really good for a paladin. And for night, during the night, wielder receives increased power levels for frost attacks. This glowing flail was blessed during a solar eclipse by the Glenfathan apostate priest Elwis Maran. Elwis believed that Aethys and Andra were not two separate entities, but rather two aspects of a single god. He considered the eclipse, the embrace of the sun and moon, to be the ultimate expression of this fact. Furthermore, he preached against the very existence of any other gods. While he's objectively wrong, we know the gods actually exist. At the height of the eclipse, the apostate raised his flail to the heavens and blessed it in the name of the one unified God. At that moment, his eyes burned and he was instantly struck blind. The weapon was indeed imbued with power, but the sacrifice for this blessing was steep. Some of Elwis's followers were convinced this was proof of the truthfulness of his claims, while others saw it as nothing more than divine punishment for his blasphemies. Alright, Lunar Excellence. During the night, frost attacks have a chance to echo, applying their effects twice. And Solar Excellence. During the day, fire attacks have a chance to echo, applying their effects twice. Golden Sun Aethys. 25% burn damage from weapon returns health. And Silver Moon Andra. Freeze damage from weapon reduces target max health by 50% of damage dealt. Seems like a pretty solid weapon. Squid's Grasp. Legendary, so once again saving money on it. At the ready, cannot be flanked. Squid's Escape. Breaks engagement and expertly avoids the next attack, diving out of range to a specific location. Blinds and confuses nearby targets. Use once per rest. And Kamo's Curse. Kamo's lingering resentment inflicts major defense penalties to nearby allies against intellect afflictions. -50. This unusual rapier was once the signature weapon of a widely feared captain of the Principe, known for pursuing his targets to the ends of the archipelago, and for his ability to evade even the most determined pirate hunters of the Royal Deadfire Company. Not a single piece of punctuation in that sentence. Until the end, of course. Atio Kamo was a man of cruel humor and dogged determination. The captain of the red-sailed sloop Serrano's Mercy, his own crew feared him as much as his foes, as Atio was as likely to inflict his sadistic punishments on underperforming underlings as the victims of his piracy. He survived 4 separate mutiny attempts, each time reversing the circumstances of an ambush and miraculously coming out on top. Legend spread of the wicked pirate captain with the eyes in the back of his head, phenomenal reflexes, and a rapier the color of ink, made entirely of Emiran steel. Broken Curse. Just removes Kalmo's Curse. Serrano's Mercy. Allows the rogue to break engagement and expertly avoid attacks, diving out of range to a specific location. So on top of the blinded and confused, it also adds the deflection bonus that the regular escape provides. Unseen demise. They never found the body after all. If defeated within a short time of using Squid's escape, revive and become invisible. Attempted parley. There'll be no negotiation. Increases action speed when threatened by 3 or more enemies. Insert mutiny. You've seen this betrayal coming. While any party member is affected by charm or dominate, Widow receives the swift and intuitive inspirations. Refuge stained grasps. Death denied. Wearer is immune to constitution afflictions while they wear 1 or more injuries. Carry. Where did I say wear at? These gauntlets once belonged to a Juana barbarian known throughout the archipelago as Refuge, Dread of Invaders. Local legend holds that Refuge appeared only when her force's situation was at its most dire. Refuge often sustained injuries in battle that would have killed any other warrior, and yet she never died. In the heat of one such battle, Refuge charged the field alone against a troop of bleakwalkers, for all those who might have fought beside her sprawled dead at her feet. She slew the paladins one by one, till at last she stood before their leader. The paladin leader was fast, faster even than Refuge, and severed her hand with a swipe of his broadsword. Refuge was clever, as she tripped the paladin leader. As he fell into the mud, she cleaved him from neck to navel. Assured that her enemy was dead, Refuge tore off her other gauntlet and used its glove as a makeshift tourniquet. When the battle was ended and her wound tended to, Refuge left her stained gauntlets behind. Mirrorback. Parabolic weave, 10% chance to reflect against spells. Visual refraction, +5 deflection against ranged weapons and +2 stealth. Sewn into the hem of this reflective cloak is a brittle, well-worn scroll squashed flat. Unrolling it reveals a letter penned in several hands, commonly passed around among the great thieves of Aora. A gift for you, my friend, made by the gold-plated maniacs of the living lands. May your feet be swift, fingers nimble, and your drinks always on the house. From Antonino of Biajepi, addressed to an unnamed thief in the Valian Republics. Here, Twitch, for that thing we talked about. Save me a seat at the bar? An unnamed thief and a letter to Nefri, a thief of the Deerwood. I can't let a treasure like this fall into House Do Nothing Well's hands, so it's yours as long as you can keep it. Follow your heart, and don't get dead. Nefri, and a letter to one Langdon, most recently of Defiance Bay. That's really good. Opal tier cameo. So it's another per rest summon instead of limited charges. So we'll definitely be buying this. The weeping figure adorning this jewel gazes out with a look of profound loss. It is a knowing look, one resigned to sadness and grief. The opal is smooth, polished over many years by sand and crashing surf. Oh, it summons a siren. Void Word. Soul Barrier, minus 25% raw damage taken, and blackened core, +2 corrode armor rating. This ring was created in secret by a rival of the Animancer who forged the great sword Void Wheel. This rival intended to steal the weapon upon the Animancer's inevitable death. This ring would serve to protect them from the sword's terrible powers. So I wonder if we can find this sword in game. If so, it's probably a good idea to have that ring on hand just in case. Alright, so who needs a cloak upgrade? Oh, that was weird. He kept growing whenever I swapped out the cloaks. I still think the deflection is probably better.
Not a bad bit of tackle, Captain.
At least for now. So we have some quests in Lifter's Refuge and the King's Coffin. There should be an ogre for us to fight here, so let's go to Lifter's Refuge first. And the Amoa we can hire for the play, hopefully.
Have a pity and toss me a pyre, will you?
How do you feel about playing the part of Aethys on stage?
What? I'm no actor. And besides, I can't barely see nothing as it is.
You'll just need to speak a few lines. Stand there and look intimidating.
Intimidating I can do. Reciting a bunch of namby-pamby lines is going to be the trickier part, but I'm game to try.
He sighs as he straightens his spine, standing even taller to tower over you.
Turn me in the right direction, and I'll make me way to the Radiant Court.
So these guys are new. Oh, I see.
Huh? Sure.
Puny. Too puny to join my crew.
Arms crossed, the hulking ogre looks you from head to toe. He spits at your feet, unimpressed.
Go away. Be gone. Scram.
What's an ogre doing in dunnage?
As I said, I seek bodies for a crew. And no, you cannot join.
There's a bounty on you.
It is kind of you to announce yourself to me, bounty hunter. It will be just as kind of you to die by my hand.
So they're actually pretty high level, which means we can safely throw out some summons and it won't be wasted.
I bring your end.
Let's get some raw damage taking on this guy if we can.
More wheelhouse, friend. See you. Nice meat. Zoom.
Arthur Worthen Ross.
Oh yeah, I don't remember if I pointed this out or not, but the belt that we have equipped on my main character gives us second wind, but it's an item effect. So it actually gives us a second use of second wind per combat. Now the one on the item can only be used once per rest, where the one through athletics can be used per encounter. Regardless, we can still heal twice. We're currently 145.7 health. This scales with our base athletics. Pretty solid.
Blast.
Alright, thank goodness I got that heal off. Get a little concerned.
Nah, didn't work.
Do not like that they're going straight for Jody here. If I get this buff off, we'll swap to her lantern for some extra deflection. And Brand Enemy is probably going to finish off Torkar. Regardless, I should let my main character keep wailing on him, just to make sure he goes down.
That's not supposed to happen.
I'm having some trouble moving through this.
Take him down.
No can do.
Damn the lads, eh? Something I can do? Stay behind me.
Me too, man.
Alright, what else have we got? Throw a death ray out. And some tentacles back here.
Not exactly my area of expertise.
Yeah?
Well, that's one way to wrap up the fight.
Huh?
An explosive
Right.
finish.
Will do.
Rekar's map fragment. This piece of tattered parchment shows the familiar waters and landmasses of the Deadfire archipelago. Without the other pieces, it's impossible to tell where it points or how to get there. A note is scribbled in the margins. I entrust this fragment to you, brilliant friend, with every confidence that you won't fail to safeguard it. Enjoy your riches on the appointed day. Yours in affection, Captain Henqua. And the Maker's own power. Reforge the flesh grants ability upon becoming near death. Grants Reforge the flesh. The wearer transforms into a stationary pillar of steel, reducing incoming damage and restoring health. You get 60 health back. Pretty solid. +1 might from rot and shaped by the hammer, +1 crush armor rating, which is one of the armor ratings we struggle against. At least on my main character. While the leather of this belt is unremarkable, the steel buckle resonates with hidden power. It was made from a shard of living steel from a defeated eyeless. How such a minor object retains such power after being smelted and wrought is a mystery.
Yeah? I've got it. Sure.
Alright, I'm going to call it here. Next time we'll go to the King's Coffin. I'll see about recruiting another troop member for the play in Radiant Court. And we need to buy one more ingredient for Pietro. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.